Hey, Gavox here. So, EA has put in this new single-player mode and online portion of it like a My Player in 2K, and I think it's a big step up, okay? Is Superstar going to be the next big feature in Madden? Let's talk about it in this game. I'm giving you some feedback for it, break it down. It kills me that I can't show it because I really want to, and I apologize for not being able to, but that's the rules of the beta. So there are two portions of their new you're taking over an avatar in the NFL universe, right? Just like there's the offline, which is called the league, right? Where you step into right before the combine, you play that, you go through. I'm not going to give much feedback on that. It doesn't interest me as much. I think maybe next year with NCAA, you can potentially take your character from that into Madden will interest me more. I'll probably play through it when it launches, but that's about it, right? I'm not going to give it, but it is a huge step up from where we were with their previous on-rail storytelling. I think it's better. I haven't played through it again because I just don't care that much. So let's talk about the online portion, the showdown, right? In 2K, it's like the park where you get out there, you take your avatar, you play with other players, okay? So there are, I think I'm going to start this with some criticism of what they've done with it. I think like overall it's great. It's actually kind of enjoyable playing with people, and I think Madden does have something on their hands here. I want to talk about some of the decision making as far as like their solo rank, squads rank, that kind of thing, and let this old man kind of take a step back to an old story, and I'll get to the point here by the end of it. Okay, so 1997, Hell in a Cell, Mankind, no. That was 98. 1997. Steve Jobs took back over Apple. He was brought in. They were like on the verge of bankruptcy. They got all these different product lines, whatever, because trying to rescue the company and do whatever. And he basically said, you know what? Let's slim it down. Right? I've been talking to Jonathan Ivey and other ones there. And let's make the products great and focus on a few things. Now Apple's biggest company in the world, right? Even after his passing. So, like, I feel like a lot of times in companies and bureaucracies, they take, like, safe routes. They do a whole bunch of different things. So, Superstar Showdown's kind of that way, right? The worst part about Madden is the AI. I think you've heard me say this a lot. So, there is solo ranked and squads ranked. Solo ranked is awful, right? You trim down from the yard to get rid of the AI. Why would you offer the matchmaking solution? Focus on the one thing that's great. Make people play squads. Make them drop in, right? Make it play like Apex, right? I believe they started with threes. And then once you make that amazing, then you can kind of branch out. But I really think my main feedback, get rid of solo ranked. The AI plays awful. It's not that fun. You're gonna ruin a lot of people's experience with the game if you stay with the safe pattern of offering people multiple ways to play. Also, with a split population, the matchmaking doesn't work as well. Sometimes you have the matchmaking go farther away, so the connections aren't as stable, especially in the threes. So I think like their biggest problem is the fact that they're playing it safe. Like they do this with a lot of game modes. Like there's millions of ways of actually queuing up in a head-to-head online. It makes Madden feel dead at times, waiting 5 minutes sometimes for a match in some of their lesser played game modes. So stop that. Make everybody drop into threes, because that's the enjoyable part of your game, is everybody against each other. That's it. The AI's terrible. Whenever I see the AI mess up, I am angry and I don't want to play this game. So they need to be able at EA to see this, and it's addition by subtraction. Make the squads ranked incredibly well done. And I'm going to talk about the customization characters in a little bit, but make that well done, and I think the game mode builds from there. Because every other game mode, it feels like in Madden also, they're all like single player games, but then they've expanded into squads too. So make this game mode squads first, right? Community, people playing with each other, against each other, like Park, and the only time the AI ever comes up is if like somebody has to drop, right? If somebody has to go away or so, like, stuff happens. Please, that is the main feedback I'm giving you. Get rid of the solo ranked. It's way less fun than squads ranked. Make people drop in. Please. Please. If they don't do that, I will be very disappointed because, yeah, but sometimes there are people dug in the bureaucracy and it's hard to kind of get through them. But please focus on making a certain thing great versus just spreading it out and kind of being meh all over. So let's talk about more of the character creation now after my main feedback. I think they did a really good job. They made it a lot more detailed and customizable. It's something that's also been missing from the yard over the years. You customize your player. Your stats are obviously by height and weight. Maybe they could go more into that. I don't know if they're kind of doing a little bit more generic since it's kind of their first year kind of switching to this. I think they can do more. I think they could go even more to like right. You have like certain like you could go like gut sizes. You can do different thing, customization, shoulder, whatever, legs, ass, whatever. I think maybe they could add a little bit more of that. As far as like, hey, if your muscles are like this, you get these animations. Your muscles like this, you get these animations. I don't know, but that probably maybe future roadmap stuff that's not very important for this year. But I think that would be kind of neat. The more in depth and like minutia you make every decision on your character matter, the better and more detailed and in-depth and I think enjoyable your game will be. The character creation, major upgrade as far as stats and stuff, but they still have a ways to go to make it ideal, right? 2K has done this for years, and I think theirs is, really the roadmap of what Madden should take. Celebrations, I know they're kind of big. They last for a while in this game mode. Maybe make hidden celebrations off Mortal Kombat codes. That's a good one. These are like, they're just top of my list right now, just things I was jotting down. I think one of the biggest changes and one of the biggest W's they've added is that they just got rid of the play call screen. It's just, you're out in you go to the play, you finish the play, you're on the next play. There's routes set for you. You can adjust them. You can audible. You can do that kind of things. Huge W. Nice work, EA. Getting rid of the play call screen was actually an incredible decision. I know, one of those risky decisions that you think people might not like. It was a big W. It makes the game much more enjoyable. I think the strongest portion of this Superstar Online is that they're short games, right? Madden Online games take a long time, and like FIFA is so addicting because it's like 15 minutes. Even if you're rage filled, it's over. So these things being short do not lengthen the game whatsoever. Are a W. Now, obviously, you can't be too short because it's going to take you a second to matchmake, and that's one of the things is why you don't want to separate your matchmaking, because if I'm sitting here matchmaking for 5 minutes, but my game's only 5 to 10 minutes, then like half the time I'm doing nothing is very frustrating. So I think it's a good idea to keep your game short, but you got to get people into games. You got to keep them going. You got the matchmaking and getting people there fast is underratedly, and I'm sure people at EA know this, underratedly incredibly important that maybe outside gamers don't understand, right? Like I've seen testing on websites, right? If the website doesn't load in like 5 seconds, people are out of there, right? People, it doesn't care how interested they were. If that's chugging, they're gone. They're off of it. So matchmaking is much the same way, which again, another argument why you shouldn't be splitting matchmaking in this game mode, which is like its first year is so important to get a community into it. And so that's probably a big piece of feedback there. From my end, something hopefully they figure out. I talked about menus and UI being a little clunky. They're okay. It's definitely something that maybe like they just want to get this working and going. But I think down the road and in future installments, they need to clean up and make their UI and their stuff a little bit better. Like I think one of the major parts of like 2K is that like on the park, I don't think they should do like a city in Madden ever. But like people can watch you play the game with their avatars. You can see them standing on the sideline. I think that added incredible depth to the game. And obviously they're not going to do it this year, but that's something maybe should be on the roadmap for the future, is having more of like an ingrained area that people can watch and get together and see on your servers together, however that the architecture is done, which I have no knowledge of. So when you're upgrading your stats, like I pick quarterback, I pick receiver. I'm a little frustrated that you can't upgrade defensive skills on offensive players, and I would assume it's the other way. They should absolutely allow that. They need more depth as far as customization skills. They've done a really good job adding depth and customization to the game mode, but they need to do it a little bit better. So Superstar, the more depth, the better. The more skills that you can have. Your physical skills are basically locked to what I've seen. You can add abilities. I think one of the biggest W's in this game mode is the abilities, and like they upgrade based off your stats. Like you get like there's bronze, silver, gold. Bronze will have like you got to have like 84 catching traffic. Silver you have to have 90, and to get a gold catching you have to get 99. The issue with that is like guys just hang on to the ball regardless. It's really good. But yeah, so I think like the evolutionary, like they're kind of more like badges than ever before, and I think that's a major improvement to the game. There's obviously still abilities, and I haven't been able to get into the game mode and test that. I would imagine guys that are higher overall are gonna be sicker, but at least I don't think the speed Maybe there's an ability for speed boost that I haven't got to at high end numbers, but at least at the physical stats are locked based off your height and weight as of now, and I think that's okay. I would prefer maybe the ability to choose, like if I want more acceleration over pure top end speed to get like, you know, more shifty in the narrow part versus the pull away speed. It's very like this game is very offensively focused. It's unless you make a terrible read, which, you know, can't happen, you're generally going to score most of the time, which maybe will change once we get abilities. But I really wish if I choose wide receiver, quarterback, that I could also improve some of the defensive skills, so that way they're not just breaking every single one of my tackles. That's one piece of feedback too. Laterals also need to be better. I don't know. I thought the yard was pretty good with laterals. I think just that's a 24 feedback in general. 24 laterals and 24 are just terrible compared to 23. So that's obviously a step down in my opinion. I prefer the fun of laterals, but it's not quite sim making the laterals go crazy. But that's one piece of advice. So overall, Superstar, I can see a lot of people enjoying this game mode as long as EA can improve the bugs. Like right now in the beta, only 2 out of 3 players can play on each side of the ball for squads. It's really weird. I could see this being a very popular game mode. Much better, easily much better than the yard, because I could tell the yard was DOA once I saw it, once I played it. But this one's got potential. This one definitely does. And it's almost frustrating that it's taken EA this long to implement these changes to the game. So that's it for the video. Superstar Showdown. I hope on launch it's a lot less glitchy, but we'll see.